like the same level.
Okay. DIRadioCast.com, only your ear hole. It's the one and only Africa Live, and we are live at the I Create Music Seminar in Nassau, Bahamas. In Nassau, Bahamas, and I'm here with Greg Collie as well as panelists that participated in the 2014 I Create Music Seminar. Greg, first, I want to thank you for an awesome event. You know, and we are live, we have the private background, the live stack. I want you to tell us a little bit about the climate of the music industry here in the Bahamas and why you felt the need to actually produce something like this.
Well, it was just recognizing a huge void that needed to be filled. I'm a music producer, and there's actually no music industry here, but we do have a large pool of talent. So I decided to start traveling to events across the U.S. from 2007 to 2009. I attended about 9 conferences and seminars, and it just really opened my eyes, and it just seemed like a perfect platform to give the artists, producers, songwriters here in the Bahamas that opportunity to not only learn about the music business, but have an opportunity to showcase their music for people within the industry, and also the network to make new contacts and build new relationships, which is vital in this industry.
Well, thank you so much. Now we have all of these people that have done so much in the music industry, whether they're recent or they're well seasoned, right? I want to get an kind of overview of what you guys first initially expected coming here. Usually when you say, "Oh, we're going to the Bahamas," you're like, "Oh, great, beach and sun." But what did you expect from the talent pool here? And I'll start with S1, seeing that he has a microphone.
Okay. Prior to coming out to Bahamas, I really didn't know what to expect. I wasn't familiar with any, type of any of the artists or any of the music scapes that's out here. And then I've never been here, so I wasn't, I was excited about coming, of course, because everybody talks about how beautiful Bahamas is. But at the same time, I'm always looking to see exactly wherever I go, what type of talent is in the area that I'm in. So it was very shocking. The first day that we were here, I was telling my wife Teresa that I was very surprised by what I heard. And then the next day I came, other people that were here that were showcasing some work. I was very surprised with what, So it was definitely surprising to me to see, but it was good and refreshing to know that there's talent pretty much anywhere you go. You just have to look for it and search for it. So man, I've enjoyed everything from of course from just it being so beautiful, to also being able to just be a part of something, an event like this so special where you can not only learn, because I've learned from others here, but also be able to inform and educate based on our experiences.
Okay. Now, focus on the same question. Give us an overview of what your expectations were when you were told you were coming to the Bahamas to do music.
Well, first off, I deem everything in my career a blessing. For them to even look out and ask for the show was a huge blessing. And they don't understand how much, as a producer and a music maker, to come out to things like this, it's a double inspiration. They get inspired by us and we get inspired by them. Everybody's attitude here has been so positive. So I came here as a blank slate, no expectations. So I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than constantly, what's the word I'm looking for? Disappointed. Thank you. I'm a retard right now. So it's easy to walk into a place where everybody is trying to put on their A game and to feed off of their energy and then give back to them positively. So this was amazing, and this was everything I hoped it would be. But as for expectations, I didn't come in with any.
Same question.
As far as expectations for me, like S1 and Focus Book said, I didn't really have one. I didn't let myself get an expectation, because I already know, being from Charleston, South Carolina, there are small places that have an abundance of talent, but just have no outlets. So coming here, I was a little anxious to really get and meet the people and go to maybe a local club and see what it's like there, see what they listen to, see what they vibe with, because at the end of the day, when we're creating for the artists, it's everyone else and what they like. So I wanted to see what they like here, what makes them different, what makes their sound different. And I think that there was a lot of very, very dope artists, producers, and songwriters here that, like we kept saying all along, that they have to come together and then really just force feed it to the rest of the world. And I feel like it's very capable.
Yeah, likewise. I didn't really have much expectation. I mean, I've never been to Bahamas. We often use a vacation sometimes, as well as how hard we work. But it's also great to be surrounded by some peers. You know, a lot of us know each other from various meetings and whatever throughout the whole industry. So it's great to be around some peers and also collectively enjoy something like this. You know, I've known Greg since 2008. We recently reconnected. He came out to one of our events, Beats on the Beach in Miami, which S1 actually won his very first showcase with us. So it's very interesting how this all kind of comes full circles. You know, when you're so committed and you're so just genuine about your passion about what you do. It's obvious to tell when Greg speaks about this event. It's, being a producer. It's something that we all aspire to be. Is more passionate about everything that we do. You know what I mean? So appreciate that for coming out. And I hit the water slides. I hit the casino a little bit. You know what I mean? My girls here at the time. So appreciate it overall. But I was very impressed by the talent. I was more impressed by the humbleness by a lot of these artists and writers and producers. And they all seemed very supportive of each other. There was, I could go to a lot of seminars and festivals and conferences, and there's usually somewhere along the lines, there'll be some sort of animosity. Somebody's just not gonna feel like, they got what they paid for per se. But I think when you come to an event like this, and you really get a chance to, build with people one-on-one in small groups, it shows people's true colors. So it was very, very exciting.
Same question.
Yes, sir.
I've been to a lot of conferences throughout the years, and like everybody else said, I don't want to sound cliche, but I really didn't know what to expect when I was invited to come down to the I Create Music seminar. So when I got down here, the first thing I was really blown away by was just how small the conference was. Like, I was really blown away when I really found out, that this whole thing was powered solely by, Greg. This wonderful lady Kiki. Like, I was just so blown away because I've been to bigger conferences and conferences that have been around for a while. So I feel really honored that, even though this is not the first one, this is the second one, but I feel really honored being in the ground floor of something so major. I mean, all of us have been part of like bigger things, but to be part of something so small and knowing like in 10 years down the line, this thing's gonna be so powerful. So that's really humbling. And then, like everybody else said, man, I didn't know what to expect with the talent pool coming from New York City, being a seasoned veteran in the music industry. You get kind of jaded. But then coming down here and just literally being blown away by the beats, like the producers were creating, and just the sounds. And then, of course, even what I knew about my fellow panelists, man, just really refocusing on how talented everybody is. How much a lot of people, everybody on this panel has contributed to this industry. So I just feel honored. If anything else, I just feel really honored to be part of this, man. Thank you.
Collie.
I actually I came out here, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and I knew him through as Bahama Beats as a producer. And he hit me up and he was like, hey, do you want to come down to the Bahamas, check out the music scene, check us out in the studio, and just come down for a week? And I was like, yeah, why not? So I came down, but it wasn't even a conference, it was nothing like this. I just one night went to the studio with Biggie Beats, I played the records, and I just kind of learned about the scene and how small the music scene is here, but how united it is here, the whole team with it. So I kind of got a feel for the music and the production a couple of years ago. I was fortunate enough to, last month, I hosted the Virgin Island Islands. So it was like the British Virgin Islands. It was hosted in St. Thomas. Got a chance to judge it. So I kind of got a feel of the area and the surroundings of the artist. And And I was surprised, by what I heard here. I knew there was going to be talent, but I didn't expect this much talent and like really everybody is stepping up to the plate.
So now, Tony, coming off of that, you said that you were here about 3 or 4 years ago. How has the music changed and grown over the past 4 years?
I mean, when I came 4 years ago, I only got a chance to go in the studio with him and his crew. So I didn't get I didn't have the opportunity to check the whole scene and meet a bunch of producers. It was kind of like just an introduction of what's going on out here and what he's doing with his crew. But it's just amazing to see how much Greg has grown in the past 4 years from inviting me here to the studio and now I'm hosting a huge event. So.
Now, Greg, what are some of the highlights for you? We're going to talk about the pain of putting it together, but what are some of the highlights that make it all worth actually doing?
Well, actually, just hearing everything that they had to say, that really makes it, well worth it, as well as the people that actually invested in themselves and came out and attended, to have them come up to you and thank you and, just appreciate the event for what it was and appreciate the opportunity. So that was really the highlight, just everyone appreciating the event, coming out and taking full advantage.
Now, well, I guess I'll start with you, seeing that you have a microphone. For you, the highlight, when you go back and you talk about this event, like, what is the key thing that sticks out? You might have said it before, but like, really, what was the thing that stuck out? Like, oh man.
I've been, like I said, I'm based in New York City. I've been operating out of New York City for my entire life. So like I said, it's very easy to get jaded. And when you hear about battles, MC battles, beat battles, I've been to all of them, and it's just like, oh, another battle, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, because you can get very overwhelmed by just a lot of the stuff that you hear over the years. But coming here, man, I gotta tell you, I was really looking and listening with open eyes and ears, and just really being excited, excited. I was talking to Breeze in the audience, and I was like, I know that dude is gonna win right there. Just really being excited and a part of it. So it's just like bringing me back to that sense of not being jaded, just really being enthusiastic again and happy, and just being a fan, even being a fan of cats that I don't know, which is really special to inspire somebody that's been in this game such a very long time.
I've gone to several beat battles in Atlanta, and right? And I wasn't really I'm not really a fan of the whole concept of a beat battle. I don't understand it, but I thoroughly enjoyed today. And then of course, I know Shaggy, so it's like it was a whole different feel. Like, yo, two dudes that hang out in the studio together. But I want to know from you guys, who was the most memorable personality here? Not necessarily a producer. But everybody's gonna go back saying Johnny Cake.
Well, actually, definitely Johnny Cake. Actually, for me, I think it's my man's true story over here, because he actually earlier today he had asked a question on the panel, and Inca, kind of leaned into him a little bit in terms of how he should probably ask a question, and I think it was really humbling that he got up, still played his music, asked a question, took his hat off like she asked, and stated his name, he automatically reacted. You know what I mean? So to me, and just the fact that his music resonates with his name, and he wrote a song about it was his daughter, and the whole idea, and just I really relate to people that make music about themselves and what they go through, because to me, I think familiarity for a lot of people really makes them memorable. That's why when you hear a sample flip, or you hear somebody replay a record that you really loved over the years, you get automatically drawn into that because you find some sort of relatability to it. So to me, I think he's definitely got the entertainer of the year award. You know what I mean? Yeah, Johnny Cake. You can get B.O.B. on that record, and I think you'll be out of here. But yeah, for me, it was a true story.
Great. Now, we talked about all the wonderful things. We talked about all the wonderful things, and the feelings and why you did it. Let's talk about some of the challenges. You know, I've done events in the Bahamas.
Money.
I know how
Money.
how hard it is to get the Bahamian population to actually get behind something. And when I'm talking about the Bahamian population, we're talking about the business sector. Because music isn't necessarily considered something of value in the islands. So tourism is our driving force, but if it's not related to tourism or banking, then they're not putting money behind it. So a lot of times when you do an event, then that makes no sense because music drives tourism.
What doesn't make sense to me is when I landed in the airport, the first thing I saw going through customs was a little band with a guitar, a bass, and a drummer, and they were playing music. So as much a part of tourism is to this community, it's the same thing with music, because for some reason, every place you turn, someone's playing something. So it doesn't make sense to me. And I'm sure that the officials go to the country as well, and they're looking and they're seeing these people play music, and they're just choosing not to invest in that because it doesn't make sense to me. It's just as much as a driving force as liquor is. You feel what I'm saying? Like let's be 100. Like they have their own. No, I'm not just talking about that bottle. They have their own type of music. Jungle.
Yeah, we have Junkanoo and we have another one that's called Breaking Spring.
No, Breaking Spring. Yeah, he's not in here, but was it you? Yeah. So they were putting me up on that yesterday. At the end of the day, if you have your own genres and your own type of music, then music it matters here. If you're not investing in that, then you're choosing not to. But there's stuff that matters here. No matter what, you go back into the biblical days, they always sing praises. Music has always been and always will be. So it just doesn't make sense to me.
I want to thank you for saying that and saying that recorded, so that when we take it back, that they understand how valuable this music industry could possibly be here in the Bahamas. That can definitely be a driving force for tourism.
You know, it's funny, I want to say that, my wife and I did our best to get off Paradise Island and really just see what was going on native-wise. And, even the restaurants that attracted us, the places that we actually spent our money, was the places that played the best music. Even if we were looking for food, I was like, I kind of like that vibe. They're playing some music that I know, some reggae, what I'm saying? So music is vital to the culture of any civilization.
Also, too, just to put it in perspective, we do a lot of events that I stand in. A lot of times, sponsors or people that are going to invest their money want to see somewhat of a turnaround. And I think that's why you're having an issue. I think part of it is you got to let them know what caliber of people are coming out to these events. Grammy award producers, multi-platinum. If they see the statistics on it, they can't deny that. There's no way you can deny that kind of stuff.
Well, in a perfect world, that would be so. But we did, we had you guys on the bill when we sent in the sponsorship deck and everything. But like she said, music is just not a priority in this country. So that was one of the most difficult things, just finding funding, which, pretty much had to go out of my pocket. And shout out to my beautiful lady, Lakeith, she was there from the beginning, just assisting. But aside from the funding, something that was also very, frustrating and difficult was what you saw here was just a small representation of, the amount of talented persons we have. Producers, songwriters, artists, we have a whole bunch. So that was the most frustrating, just them not supporting, because this is for them, you know what I mean? Doing this for them, and for them not to, show up, invest in themselves, appreciate it. That was the most difficult thing, because I was reaching out to people personally, like I'm hitting them on Facebook, I'm hitting them on Twitter, I'm hitting them everywhere I can reach them, and either they're not responding or they're giving me excuses. You know what I mean? So that was probably the most difficult thing. Just, I'm doing it for them, but they're not appreciating it or seeing the value in it. So besides the funding, and also, there were small things like, unfortunately, KP couldn't make it. He had, a meeting in LA, and just a few other things that, people weren't able to make it. But aside from that, I would say the funding and the support were the, most difficult things to deal with, just putting this event together.
Honestly, I think that one of the things that could change this whole I Create Music seminar is to put, and I know it sounds simple saying it, and it will take some work to do it, but you've shown that you can do the impossible. But if there was a hub where this talent could go and put out records, if there was quote unquote a distribution company, if there was quote unquote a label, and I know that it sounds like something that's, you know, insurmountable, but it isn't, because you have the product. All you have to do is be the means for the people to get the music. And I know that in the States, it's easy for us to get CDs cut for no reason. You know, a lot of these kids that don't have budgets can go out and get their mixtapes cut, and they're actually doing physical hand-to-hand. If they're not doing that, they're doing it through the internet. But there's no label here. There's no real music industry because there's no industry here. There's music here, but there's no industry. Have you ever thought about being kind of the, you know, the phone on the wave, or being on the forefront of maybe putting together something like that? I'm sorry to take your job.
That's fine.
I just wondered, because that's the first thing I was thinking. Like, all these kids can turn around and put a single together. Like, I know Hatch does this. I know that A3C does this. With seminars, they'll actually do a CD dedicated to the seminar with everybody that's included. And it's a way that we get to know the artist. You feel what I'm saying? So, have you ever thought about something like that?
Not necessarily. I understand the concept of it, but I think this event it's for the same result. I think this is the hub. I think this could eventually be, you know, what expands everything. I think this is, it's just going to take, you know, it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of effort. But it was so rough doing this. Like, I really wasn't going to do it again. But, you know, just the encouragement from everybody has made me, I'm going to do it. And I actually came up with a concept. Because, you know, so many of the attendees were, you know, so gracious and so thankful for the event, I told them I think I'm going to do like a crowdfunding for everyone that wants to attend. Only it's like going to be a really early registration. So if you really want the seminar to happen again, you're going to put in the whatever price you're going to charge. You're going to put it in early. So everyone that wants to attend or wants the event to happen, if you're serious, put your money up and it'll happen. So I'll do like, I'm thinking about like a crowdfunding concept to get the people to put the money up so that we can have the event again. So.
I definitely think that you shouldn't feel as bad about the support. And the reason why I say that is because the people that did come were the people that were supposed to come. I don't think that any producer, songwriter, or artist who didn't come, they just lost out on a very great opportunity to learn from the experienced music heads that are up here, and then the things that S1 and Focus gave back to give out drum kits. Like, this was a come up for everyone who did actually invest in themselves to come. So I feel like we should be very proud of that. And then also, I think that once they get back out, and they get into the studios, like, yo, where'd you get those drums from? Hey, I got them from I Create Music Seminar. Focus gave me a drum kit. What'd you get? You know what I mean? Like, where were you? I think it's like a show and prove thing, almost. It's like, you proved that you can put it on, and it was up to the real artists and producers and songwriters who were for real about their careers that came. Everyone else gave an excuse. So let those excuses lay where they are, because they're not for real about this, and we'll work with what we have, because there was a lot of amazing talent here.
HP boy.
I was talking a long time ago, never been in somebody's pocket, so I don't know the difficulties that you went through in this. But I do know from personal experience that, you know, when you have a dream and you see that dream, that road to that dream is the most perilous road that you can take. It's supposed to be difficult. And, you know, I definitely understand what you mean about not knowing whether you're going to do this next year, but the ripples that you created this year is just so huge. that even those guys the people that didn't participate this year, next year they're gonna be knocking on the door. You know, you created something so valuable this year that it would almost be a sin to not continue with this.
Charles Duncan.
No, but real talk though, just to give you, just to put it on perspective of everything, because I can relate as well. We did Beats on the Beach, right? From the outside looking in, it was phenomenal, you know what I mean? From the inside looking out, however, you know what I mean? Like, we paid $20,000 a day to use the pool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had to book 150 rooms in a hotel. We had to meet like a 10 grand food and beverage cost every day. We came close. But we did lose a substantial amount of money. But if I look at stopping, if me and Don said, you know what, this is just not going to work. You know, we can't do this anymore. I mean, we went on to do some great things after that. We would have loved to stop because that means Jack said it perfect. That's exactly what it is. What happened today? If the 80 people that were streaming this out today on Twitter, Instagram, and everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, let people know about this. Like, you guys are voices because who knows, next year, maybe you get their support, you get them involved in a certain way, you bring them on as a street team, and you create somewhat of a company out of this, and it's not just you, because that's what we did. We saw an opportunity, producers came to me, and we empowered them. They said, hey, come to Chicago, hey, come to LA, hey, come to Miami. We got city reps in each city, and we built those branches and all those things. Like, it's about the process, it's about the structure of it, and it's about your dream. And the one thing that nobody else can relate to in that whole thing is your dream because it's yours. But you can help other people get to their dream by them helping you get to your dream, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Just a little personal inspiration.
Yeah, just to add to that, I mean, shout out to Shadi, he felt John because he really went hard like promoting the event and recruiting. He brought in his whole team, he met the people, so.
Thanks, Shadi.
And Shadi won.
No plan Bs, no plan Bs, okay? If you're in this industry, there's no plan Bs. I got that from Jay Hatch. This has been a wonderful experience for the local artists from the Caribbean, especially, because even though we did this here in the Bahamas, there are people that were watching from the Caribbean that are excited and want us to come to the different islands. So, you know, we expand out and do more and kind of create this network of people that are interested, and we have this unique sound. As they said, there's a lot of talent, and with the growth of technology, the ability for us to connect with the people, and they've already made the commitment that they're going to support, whether they're physically here or they're sharing it with their peers, they're going to support. So we have to keep the faith. I know that I heard a lot of people in the audience yesterday prior to the experience, saying that, you know, well, I'm in an island, it's so small, I can't get out. I'm like, but you're doing it. You know, you have this great music. Your music and your work will speak for itself. You just have to get people to hear it, get it out into the world. So, Greg, thank you so much. Everybody, I want to... You're going to go. All right, so we're going to get one more thing from Combat Jack. You know, Combat Jack, you can watch the Combat Jack show.
You can listen to the Combat Jack show at combatjackshow.com. iTunes and SoundCloud. We also have a show on Complex, the Combat Jack Show. But it's really not about me. One thing I wanted to say to Greg is because I see it, I really see it. In 10 years, when you're one of the richest men on this island, don't change on us, Greg. Don't change on us, Greg.
All right, there you go. DIRadioCast.com after Carlisle. We are live at the I Create Music Seminar in Nassau, Bahamas, September 20th through 21st, 2014. Yes. You are now watching the live Google stream, and we're signing off.
Yeah.